My husband decided to leave me for another woman and my own family supported him. I stayed silent because I knew that one day the truth would speak for itself. When my husband decided to leave me for another woman and my own family chose to stand by him, I stayed silent. Because deep in my heart I had a strange belief that one day the truth would speak for itself, and everyone would finally see what they were refusing to see. That night at 3 a.m., while my entire suburban home was completely quiet, the coffee in my hand had gone cold, and the only sound around me was the low volume of late-night TV. I found myself asking for the first time, was I really that unimportant? Could 10 years of love, sacrifices, and memories really disappear so easily? I still remember the day my husband, David, sat across from me and said, "I think I need a fresh start in my life." A fresh start. Those words sound beautiful, don't they? But sometimes those same words can destroy someone's entire world. I looked into his eyes and saw it clearly. There was less guilt and more certainty. That was the moment I realized this was not just a temporary problem. A few days later, I discovered there was another woman in his life. A woman he had already chosen over me. Her name was Laura. But the most painful part wasn't that David had grown close to someone else. It was that my own family started supporting him too. My sister told me, "Maybe you two were never meant to be together. David deserves to be happy too." My mother stayed silent. And that silence hurt more than anything. I wanted just one person to stand up and say, "No, what happened to you was wrong." But no one did. I didn't create a scene. I didn't beg anyone to understand my side. I simply became quiet. And maybe everyone thought that meant I had lost. But they didn't understand that silence is not always weakness. Those nights were the hardest. From our home near Seattle, the glow of streetlights came through my bedroom window. I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, lost in memories. Sometimes I thought about taking Ambien or sleeping pills just to make my mind quiet for a few hours. But I stopped myself. I knew I had to face my pain and understand it, not escape from it. I remembered the days when David and I first traveled to Boston. The cold weather, the little diner where we shared cheap coffee, the laughter. Back when we didn't have much money but still felt happy. I remembered buying small things from Target, sitting at Starbucks and dreaming about our future together. Now those memories felt like they belonged to another lifetime. But then I started asking myself a question. If I was really that terrible, why did David spend 10 years with me? If I was truly not enough, why did he build a home, dreams, and a life with me? Slowly the answer began to appear. The problem was never that I wasn't enough. The problem was that David always needed outside validation. He believed a new life would make him happier. And maybe my family chose the easier path too. Instead of looking at the truth, they supported the person who appeared more confident. One day I found an old box filled with our documents and photographs. Inside that box I discovered an envelope. When I opened it, I found a letter David had written 3 years earlier but never gave to me. In that letter he wrote that I was the strongest person in his life. He wrote about how I had supported him during his hardest moments. He admitted that he was afraid he would never become the kind of person I was. I sat there holding that letter for a long time. Because it was the first moment I realized something important. The man who was leaving me knew my value deep down. Even if he was choosing to walk away. But the real truth came later. A few weeks after David left, I learned that Laura had started seeing the same things I had noticed years before. David's behavior began to change. He wanted new excitement, new attention, and constant admiration. But when real-life problems appeared, the same old issues returned. One day my sister called me. Her voice sounded different. She said, "Maybe we didn't treat you fairly." Hearing those words didn't make me celebrate. I didn't feel happiness or victory. I only felt a strange sense of peace. Because I didn't want revenge. I only wanted the truth to come out. I started rebuilding my life. I turned one room in my house into my own workspace. The sound of the coffee machine in the morning no longer reminded me of loneliness. It reminded me that I was beginning again. I reconnected with friends, made time for myself, and slowly understood that my identity was much bigger than simply being someone's wife. That night, I was awake again at 3 a.m. An old show was playing on TV. The refrigerator light had become my strange little companion, and outside, the quiet street carried only the sound of the wind. But this time something was different. There was less pain in my heart and more peace. I thought about everything. If David had never left me, maybe I would have never found myself. If my family had never walked away, maybe I would have never discovered my own strength. Sometimes life takes away the thing we believe is our entire world, only to show us that our world is much bigger than we ever imagined. The first light of morning began entering through the window. My eyes were getting heavy, but this time my exhaustion didn't come from sadness. It came from finally feeling calm. I took the last sip of my coffee, turned off the TV, and for the first time in months, I lay down peacefully. I no longer needed to prove anything to anyone, because I finally understood that my worth does not decrease because someone chooses to stay or leave. That night ended, and with it my old life ended too. A new day had arrived, and this time so had a new version of me. Thank you for staying with this emotional journey until the end. If this story touched your heart, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more powerful and inspiring stories. Your support means everything and helps us continue sharing meaningful stories with you. We truly appreciate you being here.